Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Jamie and Marcus here.
Welcome to Test of Time.
Love, passion, and
Hustle,
in the restaurant business.
episode number 11.
Awesome.
So let's see. We're having a lot of fun doing these.
We are having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
we're creating good energy. We're having a good time. We're talking about our passion. We're talking about our love. We're talking about all the things that we do on a daily basis that we've been doing for the over 20 years. So
yeah. So we own Aroma Time Bistro in Ellenville, New York since 2003. And we work together every day. If you're just catching us for the first time, we work together every day. We've owned this restaurant together. We're spouses, husband and wife. I've raised kids here, 2 kids that are now 23 and 20, and a grandson.
We have a grandson,
brand new grandson,
3 weeks old. So it's fun. It's fun to watch, our grandson every day learn, right? Because they learn by doing and they learn by moving their hands. And it's just amazing to watch the process. I mean, even in 3 weeks, the learning how to eat, how to take a bottle, how to breastfeed, how to love to be held.
He's not holding a bottle.
He's not holding a bottle, but just the process of when they're born, they don't know any of those things, right? And it's just so natural for them to eat. And it's so natural for them to, learn, right? I mean, you can see that he might not necessarily be making out our face yet, but he's seeing light and he's seeing objects, right? So I don't really know when that happens. I think it's in a couple weeks, but
so the amazing part is watching our daughter be a mother.
Mom, yes.
That's really cool to me.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
It is pretty cool. And so, this is all part of the love we have for our family business. We love having her around.
So do you know the question I'm asking you?
I have no idea. How would I know? You haven't told me. You just said it was going to be a question.
Well, yeah, we usually ask each other a question.
Yes.
Unprompted.
Unprompted.
So my question to you today is as a wife and a mother and a business owner
and a grandma now,
how did you do this? How'd you do all this?
Gosh.
How'd you do all this?
I don't know.
Like we opened the restaurant.
Yeah.
Courtney and Justin are how old?
4 and 16 months.
4 and 16 months. Your first time in the restaurant industry altogether. I'd been a chef for a while. I worked some nice places. I knew you'd seen me work for years and work my butt off and work these hours. And all of a sudden we open a restaurant and you helped me in this restaurant. It's our restaurant.
I thought it was going to be easy. Number one, I thought, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm going to just stay home. We're going to make lots of money. Restaurants make lots of money. I'm not going to have to work hard. Quite the opposite of it, but not every restaurateur works as hard as we do.
No.
I definitely think that, we put in an extra.
Well, here's the deal. We opened with $50,000.
Not much.
Not $50,000 left over. We opened up with $50,000, a home equity loan of $50,000. We rented a space, bought equipment, bought food, and went into debt for many years.
And we were supporting our family.
And avoided going bankrupt several times in the first 5 years, which we should have done, could have done, easily have done, qualified to go bankrupt many times. But you being the mom, now the grandma, just talk to everybody like what your journey has been like to do that as.
That's a great question. So, oh my gosh. Let's see. Where do you start? Right. I was a teacher before we had the restaurant. And then I was a stay-at-home mom for 4 years, and then we opened the restaurant. And I think the process for me has been quite unique, quite wonderful. It's taught me a lot about life, about kids, about the expectations that are given to you, right?
Is it fair to say that having the restaurant together saved our marriage?
I would definitely say that it's been great for us because we're together all the time and we enjoy each other's company, and we're not out doing things on our own, right? We're doing things together, even though we do things on our own.
We do a lot of things on our own.
but we also do a lot of things together. So I would definitely say yes, that
I feel the same way.
That has happened.
Because many people say that
they could never work with their spouse.
It's a detriment.
Yeah.
And this is part of the reason why I think we started this show, was to give other couplepreneurs some insight and some hope, and some tools to be able to have what we have, because we love it.
So raising kids in the restaurant business has been fun, right? I never have to think about dinner. I never have to, because we always ate here. We always had food made for us. I never cooked at home. Never went grocery shopping. So that made it a little bit easier for me. But so there's a looking back, and then there's a how it's happening while you're going through the experience. As we're going through it, I thought, oh my God, this is so hard. This is so tough. I love what I'm doing, but oh my gosh, being a mom, trying to juggle all of the things that you have to juggle on a daily basis were hard. And I was thinking today about our daughter and how lucky she is to be able to stay home right now for however long she needs to. And her boyfriend goes to work and then he comes home at night, and of course he's tired. And I can see it in him. He's tired. He's worked all day. He wants to go to the gym. And he has to help with the baby when he gets home, right? And the baby's 3 weeks old. So the baby right now is very needy, right? Needs to be held, needs to be fed, can't do anything,
needs to be changed
on it, can't do anything on his own. And I don't know where I was going with this, but I was talking about watching Courtney, just watching her do all of these things kind of brought me back. Right. It brought me back to where I was years ago, and how lucky she is to be able to have the support from us, have the support from her boyfriend, and also have the flexibility to work kind of when it works for her, when she decides to come back. So, we were talking about that.
And she works for us.
And she works at the restaurant for us, and she works in our office for us. And we've been a little bit lenient with her the last 9 months because she really didn't have an easy pregnancy. She didn't feel great. She just didn't feel good. But looking at her and looking at the experience, I can foresee how much I actually did at the beginning, and how men, and this is masculine. I don't want to say men in general because of today's world and society, but masculine and feminine energy, right? So I've been thinking about that a lot, and how women, we just have that instinct. The instinct is to take care of our children, to feed them, to take care of them, to make all their appointments, to do everything really. And the masculine energy is to go to work, right? And to provide for your family. So maybe not go to work, but provide for the family. And I really appreciate what she's going through right now, because it's kind of bringing me back a little bit to where I was, and how I struggled a lot with figuring out where our jobs were and where we fit into the realm of being parents, right? So now I'm watching her be a parent, and I'm watching the same types of things that happen, right? When we had our kids, I was a stay-at-home mom, you went to work, you'd come home, you'd help with the kids, you'd go to work. And it was the same kind of routine. And when we were off together. And then I started working. And so now I'm juggling work, young kids, a new business, young kids, and being a wife. And I think
a son that's still in college.
And a son that's still in college. Right, and a son that's in college. We have to
go play baseball every week, starting in a couple of weeks.
Right. So the juggle is real. The frustration sometimes, because you can't do everything when you want to do it, can be hard. So I think for me, I've definitely prioritized different things. And last year, I try to come up with a word every year of something that I want to work on. And balance was my word last year. And reflecting upon 2022, I really feel that I balanced really well. And I really feel that my children, my husband came first, then the business, and then getting all the other things I have to get done. finished. And I think we balanced that quite well. I mean, we went to many of Justin's games.
We traveled a
last
lot.
year. We traveled personally, we traveled in group settings, and
4 times to Mexico in 1 year.
Yeah. And so the balance was real for me. And, you know, I haven't quite come up with my word for this year. I wrote a couple down and the end of December, and I honestly don't even remember what they are. So that's how crazy my world has been in the last month, that I haven't even really looked at my word, which will remind me to go look at it and say, okay, this is what I'm working on this year. But I think, does that answer your question? I mean, is that what you were looking for?
I know it's a complex answer, and we keep these shows to 15 minutes. I don't even know where we're at this point. I sort of looked at the clock when we started. But I think it
is a complex answer, because I do so much. And I might not do the things that you do, right? Because we just kind of have our separate things that we do. You do more of the lives and the marketing, even though I'm looking at the marketing with you, and I'm correcting things, and I
execute it.
You execute it and I finish it, which kind of works well for us. And sometimes I get frustrated because I feel like I have more in me. I have more to give, but I don't know where to give it sometimes, right? Because I don't have the opportunity, because I'm doing so many other things, right? So I stayed up late last night with Sebastian. I put him to bed after giving him a bottle so that Courtney and her boyfriend could get a little extra sleep. So I slept a little later today. Then I wanted to go to the gym. Then I went to the gym. Then orders started coming.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And then we had people in the office, and I really haven't gotten much done in the office today.
Well, I haven't either.
So I think the balance sometimes can be a little tricky, but I felt it was important this morning when I got home from the gym to spend 20 minutes with my grandson, right? Like just sitting there, relaxing, enjoying that time with him. So that was important to me, which kind of threw everything else kind of off for the day.
So back to your word of last year of 2022,
yes,
the word was balance. So did you make a conscious effort throughout the course of the year to reinforce that word and that mission?
Absolutely, because I told myself that my kids come first. So
you did a fantastic job last year.
And if Courtney called me, I mean, I left. If Courtney needed something, I left, you know?
Right. We flew back from Mexico, flew into Newark, and then drove
6 hours.
6 hours at 4 o'clock in the morning. We got back or something after flying all night and traveling.
Watch Justin pitch 1 inning.
Watch Justin pitch 1 inning in Buffalo.
Right.
And, you know, and I remember doing that ride. I mean,
it was like, hard.
That was tough.
But it was important to me to see him pitch in one of his first outings in college.
Right.
And that was important to me to be there. I could have watched it online, but I wanted to be there. And I felt that that was important. And I know, like this year, I'm not going to be able to be at all of the games because I'm going to have to balance. Now I have to balance my grandson, right? Helping Courtney. And that's important. And balancing my son and his baseball.
Right.
So that's going to be another juggle for us. You know, yes, there'll be sometimes we can take the baby with us. There are going to be times that we can't because we're gone for, 2 nights or whatever.
Right.
So there's going to be a balance for us that we're going to have to work out because Courtney isn't going to be able to work every week, the whole week while we're gone. So, and that's going to be a balance that we're going to have to figure out.
So how would you advise somebody like how to pick their word out for the year? Let's say there's another couplepreneur there or anybody like
everybody's different.
Everybody's different. So, I mean, what are some options for words?
So I go online and I always look up words of the year. I think if you type that in to online, it'll bring you up a list of like 100 words for the year. And I just kind of go through them, and some pertain to me, some don't. And I go to the thing that feels the strongest to me for that particular year. I go to the word that feels the strongest
based upon
what's going on in my life.
Right. So for me this year, I haven't thought about a word yet, but for me this year, I have a lot of exciting things going on. You and I just released this new book that is out.
I mentioned something new to you too that I really want to get done this year. Do you remember what it is?
Did.
Yeah.
You want to write a cookbook?
I want to write a cookbook.
I
think as a couplepreneur, you are the chef, right? And I do a lot of baking. And I think we could come up with a combo.
So now here's the neat thing. You can also intertwine that with stories from the restaurant.
Absolutely. and travel.
And stories from the restaurant can come from this podcast.
Yep.
Like today was a great lesson. So there could be a chapter on how you as a mom balanced the business, being a spouse, and all we had to do is simply just get this episode transcribed,
right?
Get it back in text
write another
form,
book.
get it back in text form, and then brush it up, and then maybe have an editor go through it or AI go through it and brush up your stuff. And people think like writing a book is a big task. It's a big task to commit to do it, but once you do it, there's tools to make the books easier. But we could totally write a book this year. We just have to do it.
Right.
Now, I used to be in a coaching program where we did these morning calls. It was only like a 15-minute morning call with another person. I think I might start that again. And we would have a word of the day. So today I'm going to be in charge. Today I'm going to be energetic. Today I'm going to be whatever it was. And we had a whole series of words that we would pick for that day. That was our mission for that day. So I like this picking words, pick a word to follow. I really like that.
So back to the juggling and how I was able to do all those things. I keep a lot of calendars.
Oh, you do?
And I know this sounds crazy. I am not an iPhone calendar person.
I'm not a digital calendar person.
I've tried it. It doesn't work for me. I like to see a big calendar for the month and know what's coming up for me. And then I can go week by week and day by day. And that kind of has helped me. And I mean, maybe we've missed one or two things important in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty good at it.
I missed the haircut the other day.
Yes, you did miss a haircut the other day, but I didn't have it down on my calendar, right? Because it was done through a text message. I made the appointment and it wasn't written down, or else I wouldn't have forgotten it.
And you always say to people, go to my office, take a picture of my calendar and send it to me.
Always. If we're away and I need to plan something or somebody's messaging me for something. But I think calendars make a really big difference. And I think that has always helped me. And I still carry a planner with me. I still have a daily planner, a yearly, if you want to grab it. It's on my desk, but it's a great calendar for me. It has a month by month, and then it has day by day or week by week. And then in each week has day by day. So that really helps. And then I have a calendar in the office, a big, 12-month calendar that I can put things on as well. So,
well, great. Well, that was awesome.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, I know we're going to go over our time and we want to be quick.
Should we stay for another episode?
But
I don't want to be quick about anything. I want to.
So give me one thing that you think has been beneficial in working together as a couple.
Oh,
one thing.
Wow. So
it doesn't have to be the most important. It's just one thing.
I mean, we're always with each other, so we always know what's going on.
Okay.
We're always in communicating, and there's no surprises ever. There's no surprises of things like, oh, I forgot to tell you this happened at work today, or this or that. I like the fact that we're always here and we always know what's going on.
Which is probably why sometimes we get frustrated when we don't know what's going on, because like we'll be out and doing something outside of the restaurant and then we don't know what's going on.
Right. So. It's very easy to look over the desk and say, like you say to me, like, we want to go to Justin's game in 2 weekends, and not have to call me at work and be like, I'm busy at work right now. I get busy and there's a lot of times I say, I can't, I'm working on something, or you're working on something. Not at the right time to talk to us about this, but
at least it's out there.
So we can just communicate back and forth. And when the kids were younger and they needed us, like at school, it was like, somebody needs to go pick up Courtney right now. Who can do it? Right. There was no calling another spouse while I'm at a job, right?
Or trying to figure out who's
trying to figure it out.
Right.
We looked at each other and said, who can break away now?
Right.
And in most cases, we can both break away. But I think what I like the most is you and I, when our business is running good, you and I can plan our schedule.
Yeah.
You and I decide what hours we want to work. You and I decide when,
and that's being an entrepreneur,
when we go out for lunch,
having your own business. Yeah.
And I decide, let's call it a half day and go shopping. Let's call it a half day and go hiking today. Let's take tomorrow off altogether and go on a hike with some friends. Let's go cycling. You know what? Let's take 2 days off and go to the beach, go to a hotel where we like to go or whatever, go to the city. And that for me is amazing that we have that flexibility to do that if our business is running to a T.
Yeah.
Yep, flexibility. Yeah. That's the biggest thing, that you and I are on the same schedule. It's different. Like sometimes you'll say, well, I have to bartend and tonight I don't have no staff. That's different. Most times you and I can manipulate the schedule to do things.
Yep. Excellent. All right. So this is the Test of Time with Jaime and Marcus.
Love, passion, and hustle
in the restaurant business.
Yep. Episode number 11. Thanks for tuning in. Check out our restaurant, Aroma Thyme, Thyme, bistro.com. Check out 50mistakes.com, which we're rolling into restaurantgrowthsecretsuniversity.com. Our 50 Mistakes book there is for free, and our new book is there to buy it online. And check it out. We're happy to drop us a message. Want to hear from you.